with Pathfinder, and we're at our homestead today, and we're going to be going over how I live off-grid every day and have power. So, if you'll look right here, you'll see my battery power bank. I have everything running parallel. This is all 685 amp marine batteries under here. And I have them running through a 1500 watt power inverter that is actually something I kind of put together, but it was actually a solar generator, and it was set up with one battery, and it's got 360 watt solar panels on it. And move this out of the way. And if you notice, for my for the holder for the battery cover right now, I'm actually using a Yakima Skybox. Found this on the side of the road, and it's waterproof. So just trying to utilize stuff that we can find on the side of the road without buying something, and it works great. However, I don't have solar panels on top of my cabin yet, and I've been doing a lot of research on solar panels. So due process, I wanted to save money. But I wanted to be able to charge my batteries without actually throwing away money and buying cheap solar panels. So until I found the solar panels, which I wanted to go with, which I finally did, I'm actually going to be going with a Grape 280 watt solar panels. I'm going to go with 4 of them on top of my cabin. When I built my cabin, it's facing south. So when the sun comes up, I'm getting the full potential about halfway to 3/4 of the day of the sun, so I'm not really losing any energy. So we'll actually be able to run on a lot of energy base that's coming straight through the solar panels and not just on the batteries. But due process, what I wanted to do, I bought just a 10 to 200 amp starting amp, 10 to 40 watt battery charger. It's just a standard battery charger. It's like 130 bucks. And here at my cabin, with my system that I teach in bushcrafting, I do a 3-tier system. I want 3 ways of everything. And so on my power, what I've done is solar's one of them. Solar is one way to have power. The second is generator. And I'm going to show you guys that right now. One thing about off-grid living is backup generators are great, but they still take gas. So is a generator off-grid? Depending on how you interpret the term off-grid. I don't call having a generator really being off-grid, because it takes gasoline to supply the power to the generator. Solar is a lot better because, it's expensive. My cabin's about 1,000 square foot. So, to have the setup is about $2,500 in cost to actually have a good power system set up on my solar, on my cabin. However, it's going to last me, as long as I keep my batteries charged properly, it's going to last over 10 years, at least 10 years. So it also depends on how I'm going to keep it up. So gas is not always the way to go. However, it is nice. Would I rather have to buy gas than pay a power bill? Absolutely. I don't want anyone on my homestead. I don't want anyone having access. And that's the crazy thing about the laws with the power company, is if you allow the power company to have a power pole on your property, have a meter, then by law they have access to that meter to come in and maintenance at any time, because that's their property. This is my homestead. I don't want anyone on my property. I don't want anyone cutting my locks to get on my property. I'm going to have a problem with that. So, do I mind buying gas a little bit? Absolutely not. but you're seeing the raw footage right now of everyday living for me on my homestead. Now, when I want to switch over from solar to backup generator, when I want to switch over from solar to backup generator, I've kind of made a certain type of plug. I want to fill my tank up a little bit, and you know, you can always better everything. And right now, you know, with kind of redneck vibe, I'm gonna make sure we got gas, and we do. We got gas and a gas line coming in. So I want to step back here. Go unplug my power. As you can see, we made it really tight, but I have a plug connection, and I plan on putting a switch over in on it. And basically, when I wired my cabin, I wired it with an RV snake. Make sure that's on. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna charge our batteries for a little bit. We're gonna do that. We want our charge going evenly. Go here. I'm gonna go here. Always gotta have your mop bucket in. Charging our batteries, and we're running our cabin at the same time. So let's go in the house and get in the air conditioner for a minute. Alright guys, what we got going on here is in our cabin, we do have air conditioning, and the air condition run is a 5,000 BTU, and if you'll do just a overall pan scan around the room, this is the front part of our cabin, and we're actually in the process of putting blinds on the two windows that have the two blinds that have you know, right here, blinds on these two, because to keep that sunlight out, it's going to also keep us keep it cooler in here. But this 5,000 BTU air conditioner, it's an LG, only pulls 4.8 amps, so it runs fine off the solar system, and it you know, I haven't had any problems of it running it down as long as we keep it charged. A safe way to charge your batteries, especially with a marine battery, is you don't want to, you know, in my preference, I don't want to get it no more than half drained on my batteries, and I have a power bank of 8 batteries, so I don't want to drain it no more than half. So that's the way I work it. And right now we really don't need the air condition, but while we're running the generator, we're going to multitask. We're going to charge our batteries. We're going to light our cabin with power. Any batteries like drill batteries or anything that needs to be charged that's going to take an excessive amount of power to do that, we'll do it now. And I like to typically do this a couple times, about 2 times a week. So as you can see now, we're going to have AC going. And who says you have to live off-grid without AC? But the way I like it is, this is actually the first house I've ever lived in that had central heating and air in it. If you would call this central heating and air. Some would call it just a window unit. For power, we've got backup generator, we've got solar, or at the most primitive, we go without power. And really the only thing we need power for is for plug-ins and lights. However, that's not a necessity to us. Again, we have the backup generator, we have solar for lights, or we can back it up and we can use oil lamps. And I have these readily available throughout my cabin. This one needs to be clean, but you can see we do use it. We like to keep a surplus of lamp oil and extra wicks, as well as extra glass canopies for them, tops and all that. So that is another way of having light without power. However, when it's hot out during the summertime, it's not necessarily something you want to be running all the time. So the next thing would be, as you can see, which I don't have the candles in it right now, because we just actually hung these sconces. But I have candle sconces throughout my cabin. That's another way of having light. Or if you scan around, follow me. We have, of course, this is one way, battery-powered LED lantern. But you'll notice in my cabin, I've got, step over to this area. We just actually just picked up this furniture on a trade. I gotta get a mirror for it, and I've gotta get box spring and mattress. But I picked this up. This is a 100-year-old furniture set. It comes with a chest and all this. And guys, I got this on a trade. I don't even have $100 into this kit. So it just shows you can barter. And as you can see, oil lamps. Also, we got little oil lamps up here, right here. Oil lamps there. And I want to show you my emergency lighting. You come into my cabin right here in the back part. You can come in and then you can pan around here. In every room, we try to have a couple of these, and they actually run off of, it's LED battery powered, run off AA powered batteries. You can put it to where it's automatic, motion sensor. But the nice thing about these is they'll turn, they'll bend up, or if I need an emergency light, I can just take them off. And we have several of these in our cabin. And again, learning to balance out with these things will really take your power a long way. Also, if you're gonna have solar power, you want LED lighting in all your bulbs. You throw away the other stuff. You want LED lighting because it's long term. It's gonna save you a ton of power, a ton of energy. Also, again, you can see I've got lanterns everywhere, candles. These are great if if you're up and you're having to go to the restroom or something like that. Carry these around. And I have lanterns everywhere. And again, candle sconces everywhere. Guys, this is the Native Pathfinder, and appreciate you guys stopping in. And check our Facebook out at the Native Pathfinder on Facebook, and our website at thenativepathfinder.com. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Leave an idea, leave a comment, and we hope to see you guys on the next video. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us, and you guys have an awesome day. Peace.